Welcome back to From Nine to Mom.
where we discuss balancing the 9 to 5 hustle with the beautiful chaos we call motherhood.
And I love a good poll, of our moms out there. And this week, we're talking about swim lessons because we're just coming off Memorial Day
Yep.
and
Pools are
it's
open here.
almost warm enough. I keep dying at the things you sent me about check on your upstate New York friends. They're not okay because it's been raining forever. It's raining again today here.
I actually feel so sad. It's rainy here as well, so don't feel like it's any better here. But I've always looked forward to Memorial Day in Rochester because it's when my family would open the pool and we'd have a Memorial Day party. And I don't care if it was 0 degrees out or 75 degrees out, we were jumping in the pool. But you guys have had such a terrible spring.
So bad.
I am concerned for you.
Jack we don't have a pool at our house, but he wanted to go in the sprinkler. And so Ryan was like, if you have a good day at school, we'll do the sprinkler. That kid remembers everything. Like, you can't lie anymore.
Boy.
So we had the sprinkler out at 68 degrees yesterday, and they were running through it like the time of their lives.
Kids don't feel cold. It's like girls in college.
And then they come up to you shivering and after a few shots. So one of the things, though, that's always come up around swimming, whether you have a pool or not, is swim lessons, because it is so dangerous for your kids to be around pools and understanding the right thing to do, because of course we're questioning everything. So we asked all of you that are on Instagram with us, did your kids take swim lessons? So we came to the table today with some stats. So we have 55% of people that said yes, 32% said no, and then there's the rest. We're just here for some of the results. So maybe they're too young, or they think their kids are too young
to do so
for it. So majority have done swim lessons, which I think says a lot.
Majority, but it's still not as high as I would think. I feel like when we were younger, it was something that everybody did, but I also grew up with a pool at my house and my grandparents. So I think that makes a difference.
I never did swim lessons, but I've always had a pool. We had an above ground, and then my parents built like an addition, did a full in-ground pool. So like we've been in the water since birth.
Yeah, I've been swimming, and Jordan always says that my mom's lying, but she's not lying. I love swimming. I ended up teaching swim lessons, being a lifeguard, but I was swimming at around 2 because my grandparents had a pool, so they threw me in the pool, and it was sink or swim. You swim. But I also took swim lessons because I really enjoyed it, and it was a thing, I think, for our parents once a week at the Y, and they still do swim lessons at the Y. But when I moved to the Carolinas, it's a totally different game out here. I feel like everyone does some form of swim lesson.
There's a pool everywhere.
At every community.
Community pool, people have pools, and they're open all the time.
Yes, they close for I feel like it's 4 months, but it's probably like 4 or 5 months that they're closed if it's public.
Right.
And I know that you guys have done swim lessons with your kids, and so have I.
Yeah, so we did. Ryan, if he's listening, he's going to just be like, I'm going to kill you. So I really wanted to put Jack in it, because also the other thing for us was I wanted a winter activity, and there's indoor pools here.
Yeah.
So I'm like, perfect indoor activity. We signed up at the Y, which are there Ys everywhere? Or are we
yes. There's a YMCA in every town.
Everywhere. Okay, cool. So we have one right near us, and I'm like, we have to get Jack into it. So they started at 6 months. So that my ass had him signed up at 6 months, because I'm
not gonna lie, Katie. So did I.
I was so desperate to have an activity, and you have one kid, and you're like, oh, I need what do I do with them? How do I keep them entertained? So we get Jack there. He had never. So 6 months. He was born in September. This was March. So he had been alive for the winter. That was it. He had seen the sun before here. And so he gets in that pool, he's screaming. I had him in full sweats, basically a full get up. And he's screaming, shivering, did not want anything. We did three of 5 of the lessons. And Ryan was like, we can't go back. I'm so embarrassed. He was screaming, shivering, bloody murder screaming all Abuse. 3 times we went. And I have a thing, I'm a slightly germaphobe, but I hate public pools, so much.
There's a lot of pee in there.
I have to be have some to get in that, and especially it's probably clean. I know there's tons of chemicals, but it just grosses me out so bad. It's I don't know what it is. I don't want my feet to touch the ground. I just get the ick. And so I was not going in there. And I'm 6 months postpartum. I'm not getting in a bathing suit in the middle of winter in front of anyone.
I definitely did. And I now thinking about the germs and you're like, hoo-ha, healing. Probably not the best.
No, but
I did
it for you doing it. So we tried, and now we have not done it since, but my parents have a pool. We're around some other pools, and neither one of them scared. Kels hasn't been old enough to like swim. We're not like at a point where we're dropping him in a pool, like, but he is not afraid of the water.
Yeah.
But we have to do some serious lessons in my parents' pool this summer.
Yeah, and that's like something I think that I thought I was going to be able to do on my own. So since I taught kids swim lessons for so long at the Y, I really thought that I'd be able to teach my kids how to swim. Like there's going to be no issues. Jordan's a great swimmer as well. He was in the Navy. We're both good swimmers. We both love the pool. And it's just different when it's your kids. And I found myself getting frustrated. Like, are you kidding me, Colton? Like, come on. So last year, I did the YMCA swim lessons for a while with Colton. Daisy never did the YMCA swim lessons because I feel like it was more for socialization and fun. And we grew up, Colton and Daisy, because of where we live. Colton was at a beach at 3 months old. We are always in the water. The kids definitely aren't scared of the water, but we're always by a body of water. And I had heard some scary stories about kids being unattended at pools and things like that. There's been some influencers in the media the last few months, like thinking about them, but like obviously it's a very scary thing to think about your kids around bodies of water. And we have these community pools here and everyone always assumes that the kids are fine because there's so many people around.
Yeah.
But a lot of the stories I've heard are when there's a lot of people around. So no lifeguards, just a lot of people. Everyone thinks somebody else is watching their kid. So in a moment of absolute, like, I need to make sure my kids are okay around water. We were about to go to Florida. I signed my kids up for ISR. And I don't know if you remember me going through this. Do you?
Well, so like, I remember you talking about it and I'm like, what the hell is she talking about?
Insane.
What's ISR? That's why I actually polled everyone on there because I was like, does that, like, I'm an idiot. Like, do I not know what it is? But so I asked people if they did the swim lessons, like what kind, because of course, I went to our girl ChatGPT and asked her, like, what are the types of swim lessons? So basically it's ISR, which, what does it stand for?
It's Infant Swimming Resource.
Infant Swimming Resource. Then there's Learn to Swim. So that's like your YMCA classes where like, it's, we're going to learn how to float, kick, blow bubbles, that type of thing. But those are the main two. And then I put on there for people that don't know the difference. And it was literally only one person, I think, voted that they knew what ISR was or they did that with their kids. And then
it wasn't me because I didn't answer the poll.
Yeah, only one vote for ISR. And then the rest was split 50-50 between the Learn to Swim or I have no idea the difference.
Like I'm just doing, well, you would know if you're an ISR because it is really about rescue skills. So the whole purpose of it is if your child were to fall in a pool, whether they are...
It's the one where you drop them in, right?
Yes, it is something else to see. I had Daisy and Colton in it. Daisy was very little. I think it was last summer. So Daisy was under 18 months old, just really a year. Colton was 5. And that was my big question because it's infant. So I thought Colton was too old, but it's really 6 months to 6 years is the ideal range. And one of the things I learned by doing it is that the younger you are, the more maintenance you need because your body is changing. So they're learning to save their body at their size and density. So the initial class is 6 weeks long, every day, Monday through Friday, for 6 weeks, 10-minute lessons. So it was a commitment. I did the kids back to back.
That's insane. So you just go and drop your kid in the pool every morning for 10 minutes and then leave?
You're there, yes, with them. You do not go in. It is very difficult to watch. Now, the person that I hired to do ISR is someone that I know and that I trust and that has been used by, I'd say 80% of my neighborhood. She's a friend of mine and we weren't great friends at the beginning, but by the end, you're trusting your kids in their care. And it was one of those things that my mom really couldn't do it. She really hated doing it. And there were times where I needed her to.
I can imagine.
It was 7:30 in the morning, every morning before they went to daycare or school. Mm-hmm. And it was only 20 minutes long, but the whole process felt like hours because these kids basically, they are getting dropped in the pool. They're taking on water, but I will tell you by the end of it, at the end of 6 weeks, Colton went from not being able to doggy paddle to freestyle swimming the length of the indoor pool. And Daisy was, you could drop her in, flip her, drop her in, and she would come up and be able to float on her back and save herself. And the idea is not that they are going to be swimming at every age. The idea is that they would know how to save themselves, to give themselves the extra 20, 30 seconds for you to rescue them. Essentially, it was very hard to watch. It was very time consuming, but it was totally worth it. The only thing I will say that I wish I did a better job of is you really need to keep up on the maintenance lessons because they lose that confidence. So we did maintenance for a little bit. And I'll say that Daisy thinks she can swim without floaties. She cannot. So she will literally go out there and try and swim thinking she's fine, but she can get herself up. Colton, for some reason, lost the ability to freestyle, even though I know it's still in his brain. I think it's a personality thing. And now I'm going to have to go back and either do retouch ISR lessons or learn to swim lessons. But it was definitely, if you're going to have a child that's going to be around a pool and you are worried about them, I highly suggest ISR for peace of mind of the parent. But it's not necessary. Not that it's not necessary. I don't want to say that. I'm not a scientist or a swim extraordinaire. I'm saying that.
I think if you come to this podcast, you know we're not experts.
Yeah, we're not experts. I'm just telling you what I did know.
Some of it, but like, it's hard. I can imagine that's hard to watch. I remember when we had Jack in last summer, he was getting the courage to jump off the sides and like go in, and we were just getting him underwater a little bit and doing some of that. But he took on a lot of water. And I remember, because sometimes Ryan gets a little crazier with the Google WebMDs than me. And he's like, well, what if there's like, because he came up one time full water, up the nose, everything. And he's like, well, what if he took on, like, there's water in his lungs, the chlorine's gonna, like, if you've ever gone down that path of like, so like we were looking at that, like,
what do we do?
I'm gonna have to watch him. I'm gonna wake him up every 2. I'm like, you're not gonna do anything, but it's scary. Like, water's scary when you have little kids.
Yes, and you don't know that amount. And that's why ISR was very hard to watch, but I also felt good because the people who are trained, they have to be specifically trained for that. And they check. There's a way to check that, I can't say what to do, but they like squeeze their feet and stuff to make sure that they're not taking on too much water. And there were times where Daisy did take on, like, she was at her limit, and we cut the lessons short for safety.
Okay.
So it does give you that.
But that's why it's important to be with a professional if you're going to go that route and do that. So because I think what most people are like, as we get to summer that have kids that we're getting into the season of things, knowing what like equipment to put them in when they go in. Like, I feel as if every time I go on TikTok and like see any side of this, every single item is bad. Like, somebody has a horror story about each thing. So like, this is where I get uneducated. I remember wearing like 2 floaties on my arms and like
that you blew up with your mouth.
Yes. So there's those, but then everyone's like, those are bad because they can pop. They can like,
slide off an arm.
They limit arm function, whatever. Then there's the puddle jumpers. So that's like half-life vest with the attached floaties, which is what I have for both boys. I don't know what you have for Daisy.
So I was never going to put Daisy in anything because after ISR, they say that you can never wear floaties because it will distort the way, like floaties keep you upright. And the idea of ISR or swimming is you go forward to swim and you flip backwards to float. So once they get reliant on the swimmies, and I will tell you a story that is true. So I'm sorry, Claire, if you're listening to this. We were in Florida and I was panicking because I had both kids alone, and I was they were going by the ocean, and I didn't think ISR, I just needed Daisy to have something on her arms because I got nervous. So she did go in with what you're talking about, the pedal jumper, and she's having a blast in it. That's what I am using, but I will tell you when I take it off of her now, instead of going to float backwards, she's floating down. So it definitely did exactly what they said would happen with ISR.
It
so
gives
I think
them
if
the
you,
false hope.
if you take ISR, I think you should not put them. It's the
Follow the
instructor says follow
protocol
the
for that.
protocol.
But
if you're taking
not,
regular swim, I like the pedal jumper.
I do too. So we had last summer was really difficult because with Calvin, there really isn't anything before that. But those are supposed to be on I just looked it up now. So it's the USCG approved infant swim vest. They can use it, but you have to be 30 pounds.
Yes.
That's what's supposed to be. So last summer, Calvin was clearly big enough. He was probably 28 pounds.
For sure.
But then I was getting scared because we aren't around water all the time. You know what I mean? We have those 2 months in the summer that it's even warm enough to swim. And in that time where we can be in pools whenever we want. But I didn't know. And so we tried a couple different things, but then it was giving Jack a lot of false hope. So we've switched him to just a life vest now.
Okay. I've also seen and heard that these are great. I used to use one back in the day during my childhood with the other kids in swim. The Y had them for the kids where they're stackable and you can remove. So it's just a belt around your belly and there's a couple different pads that help you float and you can remove.
I should look
do you have
at
what
that.
That's called? Basically you remove them as they get more confident.
Feature? No.
I've heard those are great. I'll find it and
we'll be posting some of our essentials for the pool. But it just says swim vests. Then there's ones with arm floaties and
I'm always in the pool I'm pretty much always in the pool with my kids.
Somebody always in with them. But yeah, before 30 pounds, you're not supposed to leave, they aren't in the pool by themselves, which I get. Last summer, Kelvin couldn't even not be.
Yes.
He
but
wasn't
Daisy could
floating
right now.
around.
And I bet you Kelvin this summer will be able to. She wants to swim on her own, but she can't. And like you said, Daisy's still not 30 pounds. So I use it as a fail safe for me. The other thing that's really scary, and I would love people's advice, because there's lakes in Rochester, there's lakes here, there's lakes everywhere, right? The lakes stress me out so bad. We're always on a boat. I always have the kids in an approved life vest on the boat, but they absolutely hate it because it's making them choke. And then
they're so uncomfortable. They can't move.
I have to do it.
Yeah. The other thing that's scary about lakes is, have you seen the TikToks of the color of bathing suits when you're in a lake?
I've started only buying all the new bathing suits I've bought are neon.
Yeah.
Which
blue. Is smart though. They're cute. It's fine. But I hadn't thought about that before. So the current bathing suits, because we don't have bathing suits galore here. I bought them both cutesy, beige mom ones last year. Yeah. And I'm if we're in a pool, okay. Because I know Ryan is also a child, so he will be in the pool. So is their Tito is going to be in the pool. They're more kids than they like the pool more than the kids. So they're in it. I'm not worried when we're all there and it's attended, but if we go to a lake or something, I will be buying new stuff.
Honestly, Amazon, Target, Ruffle Butts, they all have these new neon collections. And I would say for the boys, always Colton tans so well. He is the tannest little boy in the world, but I've always put him in the protective shirts. And they come in such bright colors. So just get a bright color with a suit that matches on the bottom and call it a day. It's so easy.
And now Walmart you can just go buy the tops. You can mix and match for the boys. But you're right. Jack is a little brown baby. So he doesn't.
Yeah, it's actually really funny to think about that. Colton and Jack are both super tan. And then Calvin and Daisy are both a little on the paler side.
Pale side.
It's okay.
Calvin's gonna catch a rough sunburn for sure.
It's gonna happen. Boy, Daisy hasn't somehow. We just use regular sunscreen or whatever. But I will say that we haven't had the sunshine that we would normally have yet. Yeah. But all week in Florida, she didn't burn. She wore her little. Yeah. I do majority do long sleeve bathing suits, even for her. I find them to be
it makes
easier.
Sense. We need some of those hand me downs.
I got some.
For new baby girl, because I started buying her some clothes now, and it's really
I have actually, Katie, I have so many. I just went through all her stuff. If you want me to give her some.
Send them next time.
Michelle, you can have some.
She'll take it. She's worried because it's so hard to people donate clothes all the time, and she's the queen of the freebies, but it's hard to line up sizes because you don't know. She doesn't know yet, obviously. And then like I bought her a 3 to 6 month like summery outfit, and she's like, I don't know if it's gonna fit. I'm like, but it might. Like,
but it could, and we're gonna make it fit. It's gonna be fine.
But on your point of sunscreen, we do. I keep hitting my mic. If you guys do want to listen to our sunscreen recommendations, if you remember, we did a whole episode on that. But
oh yes, that feels like a lifetime ago.
I know. So we need to update our Amazon recs to you guys of some.
Well, I've learned so many things just this year from the beach, like beach recommendations. If you're going to be somewhere with sand, tools to remove sand, sunscreen applicators that the kids like. There's just so much new stuff that comes out every single year that I feel like does help. So we'll share that stuff. And then if other people have ideas for swim lessons or good places to go, Goldfish is in Rochester and the Carolinas. I've heard they do a really good job.
I wanted to do it. So like, let's get really honest here. I can't fathom spending the money. Something like Goldfish Swim, you're going to charge me $200.
I know.
For my kid to drown. Too. Like, no, I can't. I can't do it. The cool part is,
Katie, you don't have to go in. You're not allowed in. There's like a partition.
Can you? I would never. You wouldn't catch me dead in there.
Yeah, you would be a no-no. Then how do you do like resort pools? Because
I'm drunk.
Yeah, that's true. Drinking helps.
Yeah.
Pee happens, drinking helps. Is that how you feel about it?
Sure. But anytime I've been to a resort pool, for the most part, yeah.
That's why they're so warm. So much
you have to go in the pool to get to the bar. I know. It's nasty to even think about, but my kids will be enjoying, I keep joking because I keep seeing this meme and I'm going to make it a From 9 to Mom meme of some sort, but my kids are going to enjoy our mortgage subscription this year and enjoy our home.
Yeah,
we're gonna be here a lot.
It's a mortgage subscription. I was like, wait,
yeah,
that's good.
It's our most our heaviest subscription of the
summer. It's a big subscription and it's got a lot of benefits to it. So the blow pool in the backyard. Here. Honestly, I've bought every water toy over the past few years. Do you want to know my kid's favorite water toy? Just take a guess.
The hose.
The freaking hose, dude. Colton will play for hours with that hose.
Invest in a really good hose.
Good hose. It has a lot of settings. He loves it's great. It's great.
And if he could get out and water some of your garden, like
they did, like he waters the garden every day, and he doesn't need any floaties to do so. So
exactly,
lessons needed.
Yeah, pools, all that stuff's very difficult, but yeah, sometimes the swim lessons, it's just even the Y is expensive, so it's just here's another activities to add on,
and that's really what it is.
List when
everything
so
just
little.
Costs more and more money, and there's a point where you're like, when does it end? That's why I did ISR, because it was so expensive for that 6 weeks, but I would have paid that over the year or so to do swim lessons, and like you said, have my kid be able to potentially blow bubbles. So
I know
it all depends. It all depends on what you need and what your budget is.
I struggle with that. Call me cheap, but like I'd rather put them in baseball 3 times.
Yeah, listen, good for you.
For where we live, like I don't know.
I don't know what I'm going to do this summer. I'm trying to figure it out. I've reached out to a few people that do private lessons because I think just a couple for Colton would get him back into the groove. But I'll give you guys an update. But as of right now, just keep your kids safe by water.
Please, we don't want any horror. We don't need to add any more horror stories.
Yeah, and I know I don't need to be doom and gloom, but the pool's supposed to be fun. It should be fun. You should be having fun with your family. But with little kids, you gotta play it safe.
Absolutely you do. So with that, it's time for us to clock out and clock back
in. Bye. Bye, everyone.
See you guys next time.